Hey, how's it going, everybody? Monday night, another Monday. It's going to be a rough one for me, folks, but I'm going to give it a go. Been out of commission for about a week, so bear with me. My voice is a little bit screwed up, but we'll do our best to get through it. And it's been a crazy week, I'll tell you that much. But I will go through some of those details in a few minutes. We'll go to the chat and say hi to some folks, and then we'll get into my crazy week of anyway, a lot. Anyway, let's go to the chat first, and we'll try to get through this show because we got to do it. All right, let's see who's up in the chat today. We've got Todd Soda, aka Soda Pop, as always. Nice to see you, buddy. I Rock the Blues. Awesome. Nice to see you. EVH Gear TV Network. Eric, nice to see you. I caught your stream earlier today. I saw that you got the Rode Podcaster device and some other stuff, I believe, some mics and things. So that's really cool. I was looking at that unit as well because in my job at the college and stuff, they're looking to do more podcasting, and I'm thinking of incorporating that tool in, and so that I can set that as a separate setup, and then they can do podcasts separate from live streaming and stuff. So yeah, it's a really cool tool, that's for sure. Ben Coombs, how's it going, buddy? I saw your 4-hour stream last night. I stayed with you guys for about 2.5 hours, and then I passed out. But I watched the replay today. Awesome show, awesome show. So funny with getting Quentin James in there and everybody. That was awesome. Bam Ozzy, how's it going? Nice to see you in here. I know it's late where you are, but thanks for jumping in, showing some support. That's awesome. Brian Stewart, nice to see you. See you around all the other chats and stuff, so that's nice to see some familiar faces in here. Gary Holt, how's it going, Gary? California treating you well, I'm assuming. The weather is nice compared to what we've got here. Denny Allen, how's it going, Denny? Wow, okay, the chat just jumped on me, but that's okay. I'll catch up. Here we go. Zach Fong, hey. Hope you're all doing well. David Ennis. Mitch Heyman, how's it going, Mitch? Nice to see everybody on a Monday evening. Let's see. Yeah, Eric, it's crazy. Anyway, getting better, but it's as you can probably tell, my voice is all shot, but it is what it is. Let's see what else we've got here. Gary says it's cold and overcast there. Well, it's cold and colder here. Let's put it that way, with a lot of snow. Hey Janice, how's it going? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm not sure if you're getting some crazy weather. I know the East Coast was getting a bunch of, I think they're getting a storm tonight or something. All right, so yeah, it's been a crazy week for me, folks. I had a lot of stuff at work to deal with on Monday, which we did a full live stream, and that went well, but it was stressful to get set up and everything. And then Monday night I did my my live show here, which we showed off the aux, and that was really cool. Everybody seemed to enjoy that and get a lot out of it. Let's see, Lars Guitars, how's it going, buddy? Marco's Images, nice to see you. And yeah, so after that show on Monday, I went to work on Tuesday, and I started getting a little bit of that, you know, that itchiness in your throat, so you don't think too much of it and you just carry on. And Wednesday I had another big live stream to produce at work, so that was again more stress to deal with. But anyway, did that, and then my throat and everything was starting to get crazier, and we got a big snowstorm on Wednesday, and I was out in that. So, but by Wednesday night, man, I was feeling it big time. So by Thursday morning I was done, full on fever and cold. And the weird thing is that I've been probably a better part of over 2 years without getting anything, like no colds, no nothing. So that long without getting sick, you kind of forget how it feels, and then you start dealing with it all of a sudden. So it's quite the thing. Anyway, that knocked me out for a couple of days. Friday was bad. Saturday was the worst day. Sunday started to come back around a little bit, and it, you know, back and forth. Anyway, today was a little better, but I stayed home anyway, worked from home, and hope to go back tomorrow and start to get back into the swing of things, because still lots to do. But anyway, you know how it is. I know a lot of the folks here in the chat have, some of you have got the flu and have been sick the last few weeks and stuff, so it was my turn, I suppose. But needless to say, I didn't play much guitar this week. I was planning to start tracking a new song, and I was going to do a Soundgarden song. So I started tracking on Thursday. Even though I was pretty sick on Thursday, I just wanted to do something. So I don't know about you guys, but when I'm sick, man, it's just, I pick up the guitar and I try, and I'm just not feeling it. So I tracked a few guitar parts, and it sounded okay, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I just put it away, and didn't concentrate on that one too much. So I don't have a new song to show you today, but I plan to get that in the next couple of weeks. The video for that one's quite different as well. I'll be shooting some of it outside, so I can't do that when I'm sick, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the song that I'm working on next is a song by Soundgarden. It's Outshined as a song. So yeah, it's a song that I used to play back in the day, and figured it'd be a cool song to try again. So that's coming along. Let's see, did I miss anybody in the chat here? Rick Hefner, how's it going, Rick? We got a few of us here tonight, so that's cool. So how about you guys? Have you guys seen anything interesting this week, or gotten into any trouble yourselves? Post in the chat, let me know. So tonight, I think I do have just a few news items that popped up today. I wasn't, because again, I wasn't doing anything last week with being sick, so I wasn't really following a lot of the news and doing a lot of show prep. So, but I did see a couple of stories come through this today that were kind of interesting, so we can look at those. And the other thing we'll do tonight is I've been getting a lot of questions, mostly from my Facebook page, with people asking if I use pedals, and if so, what are they? And you know, they wanted more information on my signal path and things like that. So I'll show you the pedals that I use and explain how I run them through my amp, and we can listen to a few samples, sound samples and stuff, and then I can answer any questions. This will be more geared to analog pedals, because I do use a Helix as well. But I'll save the Helix. I'll probably do a show in the next couple of weeks focused more on the Helix itself, and I'll show you my patch that I use on a regular basis and how I put it together. And we can look at the screenshot. I can actually show you what the screenshot looks like here. So that's kind of the Helix software, and I'll run through the whole setup and everything. So, but we'll do that another time. But tonight I'll go through some of the analog pedals running through the Mesa amp, and it goes through my cab and through the aux as well, right into my interface. So it'll give you a good sense of how I set up my sounds and the pedals that I use on a regular basis. Okay, let's keep going here. Brian Stewart says, new guitar day for me tomorrow. Oh, interesting. What are you getting? I guess you don't have to announce it here. You'll probably be doing a video on it to surprise everybody. I know that R2's not in here, but R3 Locking Nut was supposed to be getting a Les Paul today, but I didn't see anything in his feed or anything that said anything about it. So looking forward to seeing what he got. But Brian Stewart is getting a new guitar tomorrow, so that'll be interesting. Eric says, something we take here often, tastes like crap at first, but you get used to it. Edelberry syrup? magic cure for cold, flu, and such. Oh, okay. Elderberry syrup. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I've just been taking some just the regular stuff you get at the drugstore. I'm very much a guy that doesn't really take a lot of medication. Like, I really have to be sick to a point where, because what happened was a few years ago, I won't go into too much detail, but just to give you a little bit of background, I was having some issues with stomach issues, basically, more than anything. And I went to see the doctor, and they ran tests, and they did the whole thing, right? And they were going to put me on these medication to kind of help that or whatever. But after doing some research on my own and stuff, I just wasn't buying it. I didn't want to be on medication for the rest of my life. So this past July, I went on a diet, a different diet, a totally different diet. It's called the keto diet. And I've stuck to it. I haven't deviated from it, and so it's working for me. It doesn't work for everybody. It depends on what you have and the symptoms and stuff. But for me, it basically cured all those symptoms, all the stuff that I was dealing with my stomach and with even inflammation in joints and stuff like that. That's all gone. I lost 50 pounds since then. I started July 8, and by 4 months in, I lost 50 pounds, and I've stayed pretty much at that weight since then. So I believe more in changing my diet and things like that than taking medication. So I don't usually take a lot of medication. So this week, having to take these, syrups and whatever, just because I had to, but I don't usually do that because it really, I don't know, puts me in a brain fog and everything, so I don't really like that. So, but if it works, it works, and I had to get through this week, so sometimes you got to do it. Ben Coombe says, had a great gig Saturday. Other than that, but yeah, I saw some footage of your gig on Saturday, Ben. That was awesome. Your singer is really good. So I'm glad that's working out for you. Let's see. Hey, Jason Wade's in here. Haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're doing well. Glad you're able to join us. Guitar Hack, how's it going? And Guitar Hack is having a show at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to be finishing my show at 8:30. I usually go for an hour and a half, but today I'm not feeling well anyway, so I'm going to shut her down at 8:30, and then everybody should jump on to Guitar Hack's show at 9. He's going to be interviewing Eric from EVH Gear TV Network. Everybody knows Eric, great guy. It should be an awesome show, so I look forward to that. So that's at 9 o'clock tonight on Guitar Hack's channel. So make sure you get to there and check that out. Brian Stewart says PRS CE in Ariza Verde. I'm not sure what that is. The color. Limited edition from Wild West. That's awesome. PRS CEs are nice guitars. I hope you shoot a video and show us some footage of it. That'd be great. Congratulations. That's an awesome guitar to get. Let's see. Bam Audi says, I'm interested in the Helix, considering the LT, or maybe push my budget and go to the floor, still deciding whether GT 1000 or Headrush will be worth getting instead too. I have the LT, and it does everything I need, plus more. I'm probably just, touching the surface of that thing as far as what it can do. I'm very happy with it, and I think they can be bought now for, like when I bought it about over a year ago, and I think they've gone down in price since then, so you can probably get a good deal if you can, spot them around. That's the one I use. I don't know too much about the other ones, the GT 1000 or the Headrush. I know of the units, but I've never tried them, but can't go wrong with the Helix LT. That's a great unit. Sounds great. But yeah, I'll be doing a show on that unit and running through some of my settings and what I like as far as signal paths and IRs and things like that. Probably maybe next week or the week after. We'll see how it goes. The other thing that's happening in a few weeks for me is I'm going to, well, I think it's the first week of April. I'm going to be in Vegas for the NAB show, which is, you guys are familiar with NAMM for music equipment, but this is for camera equipment, video equipment, live streaming, broadcasting, all that. That's the biggest show as far as like in the world, as far as that industry is, and that's taking place in Vegas, and I go every year. So I'll be there, I think it's the first week of April or the second week. I have to double check my dates, but I'll be there for that, and I will try to go live from there on that Monday that I'm there, unless I'm at an event or something. But because there's tons of gear and some cool stuff there, especially for you guys that are doing a lot of YouTube stuff. The technology that's announced at that show, and the new cameras and streaming boxes and interfaces and all kinds of stuff. It's really, really cool. So I'll be showing you some of that stuff live from the floor at in Vegas. So that'll be beginning of April. Let's see. EVH says it's 100% natural, all herbs. We hate big pharma. Okay, that's good to know. Well, I'll definitely make a note of that, and I will check it out. But hopefully I'm on the upside of this, whatever I've got here, and I'll be in the clear very soon. All right, so I'm just going to kind of quickly scroll down here, and then we'll get to our couple of news stories that we've got for this week, and then we'll get to showing you some pedals and some stuff, and we'll go from there. Cool. Gary Holt. I lost 130 pounds last month. My niece moved out of my house. Oh my God. Crack me up. Eric says Sandra switched to a whole food plant-based diet and saved her life. Yeah, it's amazing what just a diet can do for you. It's hard at first because, you know, you're so used to a certain lifestyle and everything else. But when you see results, especially the results I saw where you're not living with that issue anymore, because it, you know, stomach issues and stuff can really take over your life, because everything you do is, you got to worry about that, and traveling, everything, right? And it was getting really bad. So the fact that that has gone away and all these other things happened that were positive, it makes it easy to stick to your diet and to stick to that plan. So, and now I don't crave any of those foods. Like I used to eat chocolate every day of my life, since I was a kid, and I haven't had a piece of chocolate since July 8th, and that's incredible. And it took about 3 weeks to really get sugar and stuff out of my system so that I wasn't craving it. And it's not the fact that I can't have that stuff now, it's just that, you know, if I went back to eating it on a regular basis, I would kick my system out of the ketosis mode, they call it, and I would start to get some of these issues come back. And for me, it was a lot to do with wheat and stuff like that, apparently, that just didn't work for me. And that, once I eliminated all those processed foods and wheat and everything, man, it was like a night and day difference in my life. So I'll stick with it. You got to do what works for you. Let's see. EVH, National Association of Broadcast. Yeah, NAB is a show that I'm going to. A bit brighter and more snap. Bam Aussie says, oh, for the PRS. Yeah, the PRS guitar is nice. Cool, cool. See you guys chatting with each other here. All right, cool. All right, so let me go to the news thing. It's not much news today, but there's a few things that I've noticed today that happened that were kind of music related, entertainment related. So let's go check that out. So the first item, I didn't know about this documentary that went on. It was aired last night, and I think part 2 is being aired tonight on HBO. And it was all over the news today. It's a documentary about Michael Jackson, and it's not a good documentary. These 2 kids, I think it's 2 kids or maybe a couple more now that they're older and stuff, are speaking out to say what happened to them at the Michael Jackson ranch, or Neverland is his big, you know, home and stuff, and what type of guy he really was with children and things like that. And some of the stuff that was revealed in this documentary was really major. Like, it was, you know, Bill Cosby type of stuff basically that he was doing, like crazy stuff that came out. And the funny thing is that the Jacksons are suing HBO, obviously, and HBO didn't care. They released the movie or the documentary anyway, and they're still airing part 2 tonight. And the Jacksons actually released on another network last night, to go opposing it, a rare concert by Michael Jackson, to try to take away some of that, the audience for it, or take away some of the, you know, the publicity for it. But I don't think that worked, because it was all over the news today about the reaction to this documentary and the stuff that came out around what really went on about child abuse and, you know, what he was doing and stuff. So it's pretty disturbing. You know, we've heard stories and we've heard things about Michael Jackson before, but nothing really came out of it, and settlements were made and some stuff, but I never followed it. But then all of a sudden I see this today and I'm like, wow, okay, there's some serious accusations here, and they've got a lot of evidence and a lot of stuff came out. So it's one of those things. And it's funny because I was listening to Eric's show, EVH and Gear TV, about what is it, maybe Friday night I think it was. You had somebody on that was really great interview. I can't remember the man's name, but he was involved with Kramer, and you know, and he did have a battle with the Jacksons as far as you know, getting assets back and things like that. So it was interesting that was in the news, and then I saw this today. So yeah, it's the Jacksons are very I don't know, shady maybe, but correct, Brian. Henry Vaquero Sr., yeah, that's who it was. Yeah. Scott the Fuck, how's it going? Scotty G, how's it going? Yeah, so I didn't see the documentary, but I did, you know, I did hear all the news today, and I was listening to a couple of talk shows during the day. They were really going through everything that had been said and shown, so it's very interesting. The other thing that happened today, which is kind of sad, Luke Perry died today at 52. Died from, I believe he had a stroke or something like that. I don't remember, but I think he is a musician as well. He's known for being an actor, obviously, with 90210, and he's had a couple of health issues in the past. But yeah, this was kind of sudden, and something just happened overnight, and bang, he's gone. So yeah, Luke Perry. So that was the other story that I saw today. Not really music related, but still worth mentioning. We seem to be losing a lot. I think we've lost a couple of other people this week regarding the industry, right? And you never know, man. You gotta live every day like you know, it's your last day basically, because you can get ill, you don't know. So don't take anything for granted, that's for sure. Let me go back to the chat a little bit here, make sure. Brian Stewart says, I watched how they did the autopsy show on Michael Jackson a couple evenings ago. That dude was wrecked on powerful sleeping drugs. Yeah, that's true. He was taking a lot of stuff, and that's what killed him, I think. Those sleeping pills or whatever. Basically, he was the amount of pills and stuff that he was being administered at night to go to sleep. It was like, you know, going to the doctor and getting an operation and they put you out. It was that strong. So Gary Holt says money flows into the Jackson estate faster than they can pay out lawsuits. Yeah. Oh, Prodigy singer died yesterday. That's who it is. Yeah, I saw there was somebody else that I wanted to mention. I can't remember his name, but yeah, I did see that as well. Let me go back to this shot here. Cool. All right. Damn, I'm getting depressed. I need amp help. Okay. You need amp help? Let's get back to guitars and music and all that fun stuff, all right? So again, bear with me with my voice. I'm going to keep talking and keep going as long as I can here. If I seem to go in and out, you'll excuse me, you know why. So let me just make sure everything is good in the chat, and then we'll have a look at some pedals and talk amps and fun stuff. There we go. Ted Lindsay died too. Really? Oh, okay. Did I see that? No, I didn't see that. Wow, interesting. Ted Lindsay. Wow. And that's something. How old was he? He must have been up there. Yeah, Firestarter. I used to play Firestarter really loud in my car stereo. Yeah, I remember that song. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let me see. Well, let me run my little intro here, and then I'll get the guitar and all that stuff, and we'll go with that. It's what time is it? Okay, so we're almost at 8 o'clock. Again, I want to be done by 8:30. Give everybody enough time to get your popcorn and your drinks ready for a Guitar Hack show, because that'll be fun. And oh, cool, Scotty, this is your first time here. You're welcome to drop by anytime. All right, so let me go to the intro of our next segment, and we'll go from there. All right, hold on just a second here. Let me get all set up. Let me go to my, my God, sorry about that. Go to my pedal shot. All right. So what you see here is, this is my analog setup. When I use my amp, the Mesa Boogie with my cabinet or through the aux, I run this setup here. And the way that I run it is I do use, it's almost like a 4-cable method, let's say, because I do run a couple of things through the effects loop and a couple of things through the front of the amp. So as you see, I've got a Friedman wah. So I start my signal chain into the Friedman, and the Friedman does have a buffer built in, so it's awesome for that stuff. I'm still getting used to the Friedman wah. It's a great wah. I still think I need to adjust some of the settings on it a little bit. They have different position. There's a position switch on it where you can set the sweep and all that stuff. So I'm still trying to get used to what will work the best for me. But I don't use it a whole lot, but it's a great wah. And after that, I run into my compressor, and the compressor is a Keeley compressor. I don't use the compressor for everything. Mostly for my clean, basically is what I use that compressor for. I rarely use it for my distortion sounds. I just find that the Mesa has a certain amount of compression built in already, you know, being a tube amp and everything. So I don't really need it that much for those sounds, but with the clean sounds, I like to have it. It adds to it. The next thing in my channel chain, or the chain, this is all running through, going to the front of the amp, is the EP booster, and that makes a huge difference. For some reason, and I just added that a few months ago, I think is when I got that pedal. And it made a world of difference to the amp. It really opens up the amp. It doesn't really change the tone so much, but it definitely opens up the amp, and really it's really a magical pedal in my opinion. It really works well. And then I go into the MXR Smart Gate, and the Smart Gate is, you know, it's not halfway, just before halfway, and it's basically a great gate because, again, it's not one of these gates that will color your tone at all, and it really, the sensitivity of it, it can be really adjusted fairly easily. There's a couple of options on it with the switching in it that you can adjust to your liking, and it does a great job to keep everything, you know, nice and tight, because I like the type of stuff that I'm into as far as music, and when I'm writing and stuff, it's pretty much more of a tighter sound, so that pedal works well for that. So especially on high gain stuff, when you're done strumming, if they got P90s or something, it does what it's supposed to do. It soaks up that sound and that static and everything else, right? And then, so that's the pedals that go into the front of the amp. It's the wah, the compressor, the EP booster, and then the Smart Gate. I did try the Smart Gate in the loop, but it didn't work as well as putting it through the front of the amp, so I left it in the front. Then on the top portion of the board, you have an equalizer and the MXR carbon copy delay. And those two pedals are run into the effects loop. And they really, well, I'll say this much. The delay I'll use not a whole lot, depending on what I'm doing. Maybe for a lead or something like that, I'll pop it on. But the EQ is always on. It basically shapes your tone and gives your amp just a whole new different, like, I don't know how to explain it. It just basically, once, if you don't have it on and you play your amp and then you put it on, you can't not have it on after that, because it's that drastic of a difference. And then with the EQ settings on it, you can really shape your tone to your exact liking. And you know, if you can change it if you like, maybe you're playing a different style one day and you just need a little bit more high end, a little bit less mid or something, and then you change it from there without affecting your controls on your amp, right? So your preamp and everything stays where you like it, and then you can shape your tone using that. And for some reason, putting that in the effects loop is where everybody told me to put it, and they were right, because it works really well. It works better than putting it in front of the amp, because I tried it both ways, and through the effect loop it worked a lot better. So to me, that's the setup. So let me pick up a guitar and maybe go through a few of the things, how they sound. And what you'll be hearing is the setup going through the amp and then into the aux, and then the aux goes into the interface, so not through the cabinet. I'm not using the cabinet tonight, like the Mesa cabinet that I have in the room here with an SM57. I'm just running the digital out of the aux using a 412 cabinet that the aux has. So let me just do that. Let me see if I can put this on, put this on. All right, so you should be hearing that. Let me switch my shot, so make it a little bit more interesting for you guys here. All right, so let me go to my clean channel. There we go. And the pedal that you see on the bottom, do you see that on the, yeah, this one here. It's the Mesa Boogie pedal that comes with the amp, and basically just lets you change, you know, the channels on the amp. There's 3 channels on the amp, and this amp has built-in reverb. I use it sometimes I don't. And there's a solo button, and you can turn the effects loop on and off if you want. I always leave it on because that's where my EQ is. So let me just put my compressor on for when I'm playing clean, so let's do that. Let me turn off the mic here. So you can, what I like about my clean channel, the way I have my clean channel set up on my amp is it definitely breaks up. So if I pick lightly, but it's pretty clean, it cleans up nice. But if I get into it, as you can see, you can probably, well, I didn't turn off my mic, so you could probably hear some of the picking and my breathing and everything else. It's real fun. So yeah, so when I'm playing clean, you can see the pedals that are on. They're basically all on except my delay. If I put my delay on, it's nice, you know. It's and I don't have like a long delay or anything like that. It's just a. So just a little bit of delay is nice. So let me go to my gain channel. This is channel number 2. It's not my highest gain. And when I go to that channel, I don't usually put my gain channels, I take my compressor off. So the thing with me is, and you'll notice that I don't have any drive pedals or distortion pedals on my board. Not that I have anything against them, it's just that my amp, being the Mesa Triple Crown, has great distortion, and I like to use it for my drive and my dirt sounds and stuff. So, and I'm not out there gigging. This is used for studio, most of the stuff that I do. I'm not saying that I never will gig or never do that again, but if I did, then I might put an overdrive pedal on there just to, you know, have a different type of drive, because the amp has its own character. It's more like a gainy amp, but if I needed something a little different, I could probably adjust that using a, you know, a tube driver or something like that. But I don't for this particular purpose. But I find that I've got lots, and the guitar I'm using here is a Friedman Telecaster, and it's got P90s in it, so it's got lots of. So the thing I like about this setup and the way that I've got my amp set up and using these specific pedals, it's still, I like to have a lot of dynamics in my strings. So even though there's a high gain sound here, you can hear like dynamics in every note, like every string, right? So listen, I'll just do a couple of riffs that I do a lot of like digging into the strings and stuff, and they're really defined using that, because a lot of times guys will, you know, they'll like a big high gain sound, and there'll be so much of that fizziness and that gain on there that the strings kind of blend together almost. There's not a lot of definition between them. So if you hit your A chord, it'll sound big and full. But if you really want to get into dynamics of that chord and stuff, everything kind of blends in together if you're not separating that tone enough. So this is the reason that I set it up the way that I have here. So let me just play a little bit, and then what I want you to listen for is mostly the dynamics in the sound, as far as the, picking through the strings and getting the distortion and, raking across and stuff like that. You'll hear that it comes across that way. And I'm not using the compressor on this at all. It's just using my amp, the tubes and stuff in the amp. So there's a lot of definition in the strings. You can hear everything coming through. So that's that setup. So if I go to the next channel, which is the higher gain channel, that's more your metal and all that craziness there. So you'll definitely see higher gain. But you still get the definition, and it's not so washed out. You can hear all the strings. So yeah, so let me just go to the chat, see if I'm missing anything, any questions. All right, let's see. That's good bite. Cool, cool. Okay, I'm just gonna see you guys talking about some different amps here. Good stuff, good stuff. So I'm probably missing some comments, but I'll definitely go through it. And if there's any questions regarding this setup or anything else that you're seeing here tonight, I'll answer them, because I keep the chat and then I watch my stream after, like a couple days after, just to see if everything sounded good and looked all right. Trying to learn from that. And then if I see anything in here that I missed, that I didn't answer for you, I will definitely send you a message myself and answer your questions. But from the looks of it here, it looks okay. Cool. Yeah, it has the setup does have good bite, and it's like you're going to hear a little bit of, like, especially with these P90s in here. There's so much electronics in here. You're going to get a little bit of noise, but it's not that bad. It's you know, I can tone that down if I need to. Just a setup. And if I play any other guitar like my Les Pauls or something with the humbuckers and stuff, you don't really hear that hum. So let me put this guitar over here. And let me close this for now. If you want me to play it later, I can do that, but I think I'm okay with that. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I should hit my mute button if I'm going to cough, right? Okay, let's go back. So let's go see if I can get through this chat a little easier here. Zach says it sounded awesome. Good, good. Yeah, I'm still working out some of the little details of the rig, but it's coming together. You kind of got to find what works for you and your sound and your tone that you like and that inspires you to play, right? And that's how you're going to be playing more often and playing better, because you're getting the sound that you're hearing in your head that you want. So it makes a huge difference. And I think you can get there with that setup in a Helix as well. And I will show you that in future episode with the Helix setup that gets really close to what you just heard there using the Mesa Boogie head and the aux. The difference is just the feel. Like if you're in the room, you're playing the guitar, you're attacking strings, you're getting a different feel. That's pretty much the only difference. But it doesn't bother me that much, because I can sit here and play a whole afternoon on the Helix and be just fine, and then play the Mesa Boogie, and you know, which one do I enjoy? I enjoy the feel of the Mesa Boogie more, but it doesn't hinder me at all to play on the Helix or anything else like that. The Helix sounds really good, and you can get it to where it has that some tube compression in the amp simulations and stuff. And if you use the right IRs, and maybe what I'll do is in the next, if I do it in the next show or the one after, where we're talking about the Helix, is I'll save one of my patches that I use on a regular basis, and if you like that sound in that patch, I'll offer that for you guys to download, and I'll throw in some free IRs in there that are, you know, custom built with Celestians and really nice mics and stuff. So it'll get you up and running if you're looking at using a Helix. Let me just go to Motley Crue tone. Yeah, well, I grew up in the 80s, right? So I kind of gravitate towards that sound. Let's see. I see you guys talking about the Katana. The Katana is a great amp. I had the Katana for a few months. I bought a Katana 50, and then I brought it back. I just borrowed it for a week, and then I brought it back. I liked it so much that I brought it back, and I bought the actual Artist. It was a 100-watt Artist amp, and it was really good. I mean, it's just not a tube amp, right? So, but it's a great amp for the price. You can't beat it. I mean, it's really well thought out of. The effects and the setup and the software that you load up on your. The only thing I wish it would have an app, like a Bluetooth app or something on your phone that you could, you know, if you're at a gig or something, you could just load that up, and if you needed to change a sound or something, you could do it right off your phone. Because if you're using that amp to gig, you kind of have to have it all set up ahead of time, and then when you get to your gig, you just use the setup that you have, unless you want to bring a computer with you. Because the effects and the pedals and how everything lines up is all done through a computer. So maybe in the future they're going to come up with an app, but the amp would have to have like Bluetooth built in, and I don't think it does. So maybe the next versions will have that. Let's see. Guitar Hack says, Brian, I've thought about an EQ, but so far amp, S&D pedals, EQ haven't needed it. Yeah, if you like your sound without an EQ, and there's no need to put one in, I would like strongly recommend trying one, so at least you know. So even if you had to go to the Long McQuaid and borrow one or rent one for a day or something just to try it out, and try it in both things. Try it in the front of the amp and in the effects loop. I like it better in the effects loop, but everybody's different, so maybe you'll like it better in front of the amp. But definitely worth a try. And if it doesn't do anything for you, or if it doesn't really change that much, and you prefer just having the amp tone, then that's all good too. Let's see. Brian Stewart says the Boss is easy. I pretty much put it on the blues driver setting and let it there. You have a knob that takes you from clean to crunch. Yeah, it's a great amp, that's for sure. Guitar Hack says got to go get ready for his stream. No problem, man. I will see you there later. Again, I'll be finishing up in 10 minutes here, so everybody can go and get ready for that show. Definitely go check that out. It should be fun. Jason Wade says doesn't sound like any more noise than vintage single coils. It's the price you pay for that tone. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just that I know that in here, because of all the electronics and all the routing and everything else I've got going on here, I'm getting probably a little bit more noise than you would if you just took that guitar alone and plugged it into your pedals and into your amp without going through a mixer and a switcher box and an interface. Like, it's just, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. So you probably get a little extra noise using that method. And I'm still investigating ways of eliminating as much as possible that stuff, but you got to throw more money at it, basically, is what you have to do when you're building a studio. You got to build isolation boxes and things like that will isolate those transformers and for the electronics not to interfere with each other. So not a big deal for me right now, so it's cool. Are you using the Helix more now? Laz Guitar asks. I'm not using it more. Since I've gotten the aux, I've probably been using that more because I'm actually being able to use my Mesa Boogie to its fullest potential, because I'm able to crank it and get that tone out of it. Before I got the aux, I was using the Helix more because I could, in here play at a better volume and still get that tone. But I still play with the Helix a lot, and I still, when I'm recording, I like to use clean sounds out of the Helix more than I do out of the Mesa, just because I can dial it in a lot easier and use, if I need a chorus pedal or something I want to add on top, it's a lot easier to do with the Helix. So I use it quite a bit. LA Hair Metal, thank you, quite right. Yeah, the 80s were great, man. The Helix looks cool and sounds cool. Yeah, definitely I will do a full show on the Helix in the next couple of weeks, so I'll keep you up to date on when that's going to happen. So anybody that's interested in more information on the Helix and has questions, and I'll try to provide a patch for you that can get you up and running quickly and get you set up with proper IRs, because that's the one thing with the Helix. The cabs that come with it and stuff, like the simulated cabs and stuff, they're good. But if you use an IR, you can get a lot better. Like Celestion sells them, and Onammer, and all these places sell custom IRs, and that's who I bought some from them. So what I'll try to do is provide a patch and include a couple of those IRs in there for you to have. Ben Coombe says, worst case, an EQ makes a great lead. Yeah, you can use it as a boost, which wouldn't color your tone at all. It would just be some added volume, basically. And yeah, you could definitely use it for that. A couple more things on the... Ben says, I just noticed you passed 200. Yeah, I passed 200 subs last week sometime. I don't remember exactly when, but thank you everybody who subbed and made that happen for me. That's awesome. I don't really follow subs and all that stuff, like likes and things. It doesn't really bother me that much, but it's nice to see that there's a certain amount of people, and I like it. It's people from the community. It's people that like guitar stuff, that like music, things like that are subscribing, because the content that I want to create and deliver is geared for that audience. So if I just have 200 people and they're all into what I'm doing, that's more than enough. I love that. So, but yeah, it's great. The more people, the better. And if I can provide more value and more content, it's always a cool thing. Let's see. Brian Stewart says the 50 katana is best bargain and best for beginner, even though you could play a gig with it no problem. Yeah, you could. Yeah, I think so. They're loud enough. They're definitely loud enough. Guitar Pit, how's it going, buddy? Didn't see you in here. Nice to see you in there. Did you sell your Andy Wood SMEER guitar yet? I know that you were thinking of posting that, so that's a beautiful guitar. If I had the funds for it, and I didn't, because I bought that Friedman classic S, or vintage S, I should say, the red one up back there, right there. So buying that kind of depleted my funds for the next couple of months as far as guitars. So, but that Andy Wood Telecaster from SMEER is a really nice guitar. I like that guitar a lot. You guys have fun going to strum a little bit before hat goes. Yeah, okay, Jason, thanks for coming on, man. Let's see. My Explorer is noisy, so I threw a noise gate at the first block in the Helix, and yeah, I do, like in my Helix setup, I have it in the input block. I have a gate. I have it on, basically, and then I adjust the level of it depending on the guitar that I plug in to the Helix, you know. So the P90s, I have to bring it up a little bit more, and it definitely takes care of it for sure. Still dig, yes, I'm very much digging the vintage S Guitar Pit. I love that guitar. It's an awesome guitar, and very happy with it, very happy with it. I play it every time I come in here to play. In the last couple of weeks, it's definitely been the one that I've played the most. I still play my Les Pauls a lot and stuff, but those Friedmans, man, oh my God, I love those guitars. Let's see. Doug Rappaport video is killing me on the vintage. Yeah, I know. That's a great video they put up, eh? Doug Rappaport put up a video about the vintage S by Friedman. It sounds amazing. He's a great player. But those guitars are really good. I think the vintage S is a pretty good purchase. Yeah, I think so too. Hey, Terry's GG&G. How's it going? I'm fine for now. Yeah, I don't know if I have any trolls. I've had a few in the past, but that doesn't bother me. What about the Parker? Oh, you're talking Guitar Pit, yeah. Rick Hefner, thanks again, Brian. Yeah, no problem, Rick. Anytime. Let's see. Oh, okay. Guitar Pit says sold it because someone overpaid for it. Well, you got your money back, right? And more. So Todd says I'm a troll. Bam Ozzy, I'll sell anything at the right price. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose, I don't know. My 2016 Les Paul is probably something that I'd have a hard time selling, unless somebody wanted to trade like with an R9 or something crazy like that. But yeah, everything has a price, especially if you need the money for something else or you've got something else that you want to get. Sometimes you got to move stuff to make it happen. Yeah, Brian Stewart says this group doesn't suffer trolls. Well, yeah, I haven't had too many, so that's good. Did someone say play effing Slayer? Because that's grounds for excommunications. Oh, jeez. I only know that one Slayer song, and I played it again today, actually. Everyone has a price. Yes. Same with the 2016 Les Paul. I think it's a keeper. Yeah, for some reason that year, the 2016 Les Pauls, I've spoken to a few people through the chats and people that I know here locally that have 2016 standards, and they just love them. There's something about them. Either it was a good batch or something, but they are really nice. So just self-mod, Brian. Yeah. I just keep an eye on it, and if anybody comes in to cause crap or whatever, I just delete them. It's not a big deal. If they've got something to say, they'll say it. All right, so it's 8:31. I think that I've gone long enough. My voice is about to give up. So thank you again for joining me. I was debating on whether or not to have a show tonight because I wasn't feeling great. But hey, I made it happen, and hopefully you got something out of tonight, and that you got some information regarding pedals. That's the pedals I use. I mean, it's not the pedals that everybody uses. It's just a setup that I like, and it gets me to pretty much 90 to 95% of this of where I need to be for my sound. So that's why I use the stuff that I use. Andy Wood is on Cheddar's. Oh, really? Wow, that's a score. That's awesome. Thanks, Ben. You're a trooper, he says. Terry says, glad you're feeling better, Brian. Brian is punk rock, yeah. No, I just like hanging out with you guys, so do whatever we can, right? But yeah, definitely check out, I guess I will be streaming next Monday, every Monday at 7:30. If I feel better later on this week, I want to run some more tests with some of this routing and some guitar setup. I might go live for that. If you guys are interested in joining, you're more than welcome. And that's pretty much all I've got for you tonight. And yeah, hopefully I can beat this cold or whatever it is that I've got and get back to being normal, because being sick really sucks. I'm not great. Not great at being sick, I'll be honest with you. No problem, Bam. Thanks for coming in tonight. I know it's late for you, bro. And everybody here, thank you for joining me. We'll see you later on Guitar Hack's channel. I know Cheddar's doing a show as well, so if you can catch some of Cheddar's show, it'll be good, because he's got Andy Wood on. This is great. That should be a great interview as well. So yeah, stay safe out there with the crazy weather, and we'll see you next Monday, if not before, and we'll see you throughout the community. Thanks again, everyone, and have a great week. And that's pretty much it, folks. All right, take care.